Welcome to part 11 of 16, which also happens to be part 3 of our third module. It's tough to keep all this stuff straight. Anyway, in this third part of our third module, which is focused on savoring, we are going to dial in on one specific aspect of savoring, and that's gratitude. Now, gratitude is defined as the feeling that we get when we happen to be on the receiving end of something positive. Of course, there's obvious situations that invoke gratitude, like opening up that perfect Christmas present.
The avocado! Thanks!
But there's also less obvious situations that are capable of kicking up those same feelings of appreciation, and they happen all around us. Problem is, I'd be willing to bet that most of those go unnoticed. So in this part, our activity is to start up a daily gratitude journal practice from now until the end of the course. Or if you're following along with this outside the context of one of my college courses, then your assignment is to do this for the next 6 weeks. You've probably heard of gratitude journals before, maybe in a yoga class, or maybe from your favorite granola-loving hippie friend. Maybe you've avoided doing a gratitude journal because it sounds too foo-foo or new age for you. Lord knows that's the impression I had of them at first. But then a good friend and mentor suggested that I do a gratitude list every day for about a month. And then he said, I guarantee you it will change your life, Josh. This dude is a professor and a professional psychologist, so I kinda trust his judgment. If it's good enough for him, I'm guessing it's good enough for me. And you know what? He was right. So what we're going to do is this. Every day when you wake up, whether that's at 6 a.m. or maybe just afternoon, start your day off by writing down 5 things that you're grateful for at that moment. But here's the real challenge. Not only do you have to do this every single day for the next 6 weeks, but you also cannot repeat any one item throughout this 6-week period. Why do we need to do this first thing in the mornings? I mean, if you're anything like me, you have a hard time remembering your own name in the morning.
Hello?
The reason why is because when we start our day off with a little bit of gratitude, we are shaping or framing our perceptions of what happens to us for the rest of the day. Maybe the second thing you're wondering is, why can't we repeat anything? Because as time goes on and we're challenged to think of more and more things to be grateful for, this causes us to start hunting for things to be grateful for throughout our day. When we're challenged like this, the gratitude list almost becomes like a game where we're collecting things to be grateful for throughout each day, and then we capture them on paper the following morning. Or better yet, we might think of things in the morning to anticipate throughout our day, which then kicks in that aspect of savoring throughout our day as well. Here's a few tips for you to use throughout the next 6 weeks of doing this activity. First off, it's really not all that challenging except for remembering to do it in the first place. I expect you all to forget at least a few times, and that's okay. If you do forget, try to catch up later in the day, or maybe double up the next day. But ultimately, try to be consistent. If it helps, maybe set a reminder on your phone to go off, say, 15 minutes after your regular alarm goes off. After the first consistent week or so, you'll have set up a pretty regular habit. Second, here's some tips to avoid repeating items. During the first week, you'll probably choose the obvious stuff. I'm thankful for my wife, my kids, my dog, my job, and coffee. By the second week, you'll start running out of ideas, but that doesn't mean you can't revisit the things from the first week. I'm thankful for my wife's amazing cooking, the way my kids greet me at the end of the day, my dog's annoying kisses, getting paid to make YouTube videos, and the way coffee wakes me up in the morning. See, if you can alter your earlier items to where you're becoming more grateful for ever-increasing specific aspects of those items, then you're refining your ability to appreciate. Third, watch out for backhanded gratitude, which is where we're supposedly grateful, but in sort of a negative way. For example, if I wrote in my list that I'm super grateful that the guy who cut me off on the freeway ended up getting pulled over by a cop later, then that makes me guilty of backhanded gratitude. While I may have experienced some schadenfreude at his misfortune, I need to keep the list focused more on the positive. Lastly, if you're in one of my classes and you're following along in the book, you'll notice that I recommended you keep your gratitude journal in the margins of the book itself. There's a reason for that, so just trust me. Having that list in front of you as we read through the chapters will help you later on. So don't be afraid to mess up your book and scribble all over it. Within 3 to 4 weeks of doing doing this gratitude journal practice daily, I will give you the exact same guarantee my mentor gave me. It is absolutely life-changing. So join me in this exploration of gratitude. A bit later, we'll be tapping into this list for some further activities, so don't wait. Get started today. You know the routine? Like this video if you like where we're headed, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you next time.